and welcome to Rooted in Yad, where I talk about what it's really like living in Jamaica so that you can know what to expect and how to thrive if you are planning to move here. And today is part 4, and I think the last part of why I moved from Canada to Jamaica, because as I said, there's been people who were very interested in like why I would move from a first world developed country to a third world developing country, which for the record, I do not believe that Jamaica is a third world country. I don't even like the term third world, but anyway, yeah, I just wanted to state that for the record. I don't think that, but this is just what people say, right? And like, even I know I have Jamaicans who watch my channel, and you know, they're like, what, you moved from, you, especially on TikTok, because I'm on TikTok too, I just post these videos on TikTok, and especially there, they're like, why would you move from Canada to Jamaica? And I have my reasons. I was very intentional. So if you haven't watched parts 1, 2, and 3, the links for those will be in the description. In part 1 in particular, I give some context because this isn't my first time moving to Jamaica. This is actually my second. So I give some context kind of about that, about like how, what happened the first time, and that I had no intention of coming back at all. But then, you know, I did a 180 and now I'm here and I love it, and I don't ever plan to leave. I love it here. I want to spend the rest of my life here. So these are my reasons. These are the last reasons I'm going to talk about as to why I moved from Canada to Jamaica, and I will just get into it. Okay, now I think my last point about why I moved to Jamaica, and this is actually my most important point. This was my most important consideration. I moved to Jamaica because if stuff ever hit the fan, like, I don't know, like the economy blows up or like our personal finances blow up, right? We have the ability to survive out here without money, right? We can, by doing things like living off grid. And I talked about this before in, I think my Why I Love Jamaica video, one of those videos, because I think it was 2 videos. So in one of those videos, I kind of talked about like, you know, life itself, whether it's like human life, wildlife, whatever, it's just, it's easily or like naturally supported here, right? From the land to the sea, it's just like life can naturally be supported here. Like, and I looked at all that I was going through in Canada, all that was happening in Canada and, you know, North America. I don't really know about Mexico, but Canada and the US, I'm looking at all that and looking at everything happening and looking at like how difficult it is to survive in Canada naturally. And I was like, no, like if I don't have to do this, I'm not doing this. I have options and I'm going to exercise my options. Like, unlike in Canada, if something happened, right, to us, which I don't think it would, but like if something happened to us, if something happened to our finances, that's what I mean by something happened to us. If something happened to our finances or whatever, and like, I don't know, we couldn't afford to like, I don't know, rent or whatever, we could literally sell everything and like go live off some land somewhere and be able to survive without money or without like with very, very minimal, right? Like we could plant and grow our own food. This is what I mean. We can plant and grow our own food. I went off on a whole thing about that in the last video, right? Like my husband could still we so we'd have seafood. We could even still have like the simple pleasures of like going to the beach or the river. I mean, because all we would need to get there, let's say if we had no money, we would just need to walk our little legs. So that it would take some time, maybe depending on how far we are, but like, we walk our little legs in that direction, we'll get there eventually and be able to enjoy the beach, right? Like, so, and oh, speaking of beaches, by the way, I had mentioned this in one of my other videos. As a heads up, majority of Jamaica's beaches are privately owned. These beaches used to be free, accessible to everyone, but now they are privately owned by these resorts and by these hotels. And these resorts and hotels are constantly trying to get even more beach from what is already left of the little free beaches that are here. They're trying to scrape up even more. And when I say these beaches are owned by like the hotels and stuff, this is not like other islands where the locals, the people living here still get access to the beach. No, they're hidden behind a paywall. A lot of Jamaicans can't even access the beauty of their own island because now these things that were natural and were always available are now hidden behind a paywall. It is, it is something upsetting. It is something that I feel is upsetting. So there was a petition, and I'm gonna make this short. I created a new petition. There was a petition to give Jamaicans the back access to their beaches, give them the right to access their beaches, the access that they should have been having. I redid the petition. I created a whole new petition. I will link that in the comments and in the description. You can all you have to do to sign it is just put your email address. I think you put your name and your email address, and then you have to confirm your email address. Like, they'll send you a verification. You click to confirm your email address, and then you are in the petition. Once it reaches 15,000 signatures, the Jamaican government will be obligated to kind of, I don't know, talk about or deal with the issue, because the way Jamaica's government system works is similar to the UK, or it's the exact blueprint as the UK. I just know it has something to do with the UK and how that system is set up, which I guess is kind of similar to Canada. But the whole point is if it reaches 15,000 signatures by, I think, October 15th, they will be obligated to actually start dealing with that issue. So if you don't do anything else I ever ask, I just ask if you just please take 5 seconds and just sign that petition, because I think it is ridiculous that the people living here, who were born here and grew up here and everything, don't have access to their natural beaches that they've had access to for hundreds of years, that all of a sudden these corporations and businesses can just come in and just privatize. I think it's ridiculous. Like, have the beach, but like, why do they have to go through a paywall? And then you want to charge so much money for what? Anyway, the petition is there. But going back to my initial point about, yeah, we could live here without money if we needed to, right? And this is a really important point to me, because in Canada, never, we could never be able to do that because of the winter, right? Like, we would literally just freeze to death. If you can't afford to live, it is very dangerous. I mean, it's already dangerous to be unhoused, because, you know, you have to deal with like other people, other humans. You have to deal with people like being violent potentially towards you, and like, you know, and deal with harassment. There's already so many dangers to being unhoused, but then to be unhoused in Canada, where like the winter, yeah, some unhoused people, like, there are shelters and stuff in Canada, but a lot of the times they are full. I'm like, I don't know how some people do it. And the thing is, more and more people have been becoming unhoused, and it's not just because, oh, they're druggies or whatever, they made the wrong life choices. It's just their jobs laid them off, and they're SOL. They have literally nowhere to go. They have literally no money. No job will hire them. Even like places like to get certain jobs in Canada. I think I read a report recently that the unemployment rate has gone up in Canada. I mean, those statistics can be kind of manipulated, because when they say unemployed, there are certain people they're not considering. I think the unemployment rate is actually larger than it is if they actually considered certain demographics. But anyway, the whole point is, you know, there are more and more people, like in the city one of the cities we had lived in was Hamilton. I think what Toronto did was they just like shipped a lot of their unhoused people to Hamilton. But on top of that, there were already a lot of unhoused people in Hamilton, people living in tents. And then you have to do that in winter? This is what I mean. I remember what I said in my last video about just being able to exist. It costs us 2,500 Canadian dollars. Like, that's the total combined bills. And some people spend a lot more than that, right? Just to exist. This is not doing anything extravagant. This is going to work and going home. Like, nothing. You're doing nothing extravagant, and it's still costing so much just to live, just to stay warm, like the bare necessities. So, yeah. And in Canada, that would not be possible. We would freeze to death. If not freeze to death, we get very, very sick, and then we die. Right? In Jamaica, I'd rather take my chances with Jamaica. I'd rather do it, right? I don't know, build a board house, you know, get a well or something, or have a well, or live near a well or something, build a board. Like, the whole point is it's possible. Am I saying I'd want to do that? No, but the whole point is that it's possible, right? Survivability is much higher here than in Canada. And that was a very important point to me. And that's why I said, okay, I'm out. Okay, I will end it there. So this is why my husband and I, this is why I had intentionally moved back to Jamaica. And you know what's kind of funny? It's kind of funny because I told you before, the whole of my background is Jamaican, right? And like my grandparents moved to Canada for better opportunities and to create better lives for their families, right? And I guess, you know, maybe back then there were better opportunities. I think there were a lot better opportunities. But like now, here I am, moved from Canada to Jamaica for better opportunities, right? Better life opportunities. I think it's kind of funny. But anyway, that's why I moved here. Now, should you move here? That's something that I don't know. That's, you know, it's a personal choice. Like maybe you resonate with some of the reasons that I moved here. You know, I did give a couple of videos giving like some broad information about how you can figure out if Jamaica is aligned with you. I think I'm going to create more practical videos of like actual things that you need to consider before you move here. Like for example, like you can't just move here because you have a more privileged passport, right? Like some people, I don't know, they think that, they think, oh, just because I have a more privileged passport, I can just come here. No, you can't. There's a process. You can visit, you can potentially even have an extended visit depending on where you're coming from. But you can't just like move here and live here. There's a process, right? And you don't need citizenship to live here either. That's another misconception. You don't need citizenship to move to another country. What you need is residency. So like you got to figure out whether you can get residency here and if there is a path to residency for you here, right? Like it's things like that that you got to consider. But anyway, that is it for today for the series, I guess. This is why I intentionally moved back to Jamaica from Canada. It's not like the first time. It's not like when I moved here the first time, okay? I was very intentional coming back this time and thinking about, okay, like why Jamaica? Because as I said, Jamaica is not the only place that I considered. I was considering other places, other obviously warm year-round places, because I'm not trying to go from winter to winter. I'm not trying to do that. But you know, I was considering like, I don't know, Costa Rica, Panama, Ecuador. I think there was another place, but I don't remember. But then I was like, hey, why not Jamaica? I already know what it's like in Jamaica. And then this, and then that led into a whole, you know. So I will end it here for today. I hope that you found this helpful or informative or at least entertaining. If you did, do hit that like button to let me know. But I actually want to hear from you, right? Like you've heard me talk about all the reasons why I moved back to Jamaica. But after hearing me talk about these things, do you still want to move here? Like, I don't know. Did this change your mind at all, or did it embolden you or encourage you? If you want to move here, why do you want to move here? I'd love to know why you want to move here. I don't know. Did I say anything that ended up resonating with you? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Now, if you are planning to move here, or even if you're planning to visit, I did create some freebies that I think that you'd find helpful. They can give you information about what to expect, what to bring, and I even created a whole calendar so you can figure out when is the best time for you to come to Jamaica. I mean, it has like, you know, the seasons, the holidays, a whole bunch of events. Jamaica has a lot of events. Surprisingly, I thought it had a lot of holidays. Monique was right. Jamaica does not have a lot of holidays, but they have a lot of events, right? They have a lot of things going on. So if you want to like avoid certain things going on, avoid too much hype, you can look at the calendar. Or if you want to come here when things are more vibrant and exciting, the calendar can help you with that as well. And then it can give you an idea of when you want to book your ticket. So the link for that or these things will be in the comments and in the description. And if you want even more support outside of my freebies, I've created a few resources to help your transition here go even smoother. So the first is the Moving to Jamaica Starter Guide. This is $10 for the early access price is $10 at the point of me creating this video. It is still for early access. So for that price, you're getting access to parts 1 and 2, because parts 1 and 2 of the Moving to Jamaica Starter Guide are completed. I am releasing it in parts, so you will get those as well as they are completed, but right now parts 1 and 2 are done. That $10 early access price will go up once the guide is completed. So if you want early access and you don't mind waiting for like the parts 3 and 4 to come out, definitely get it now while you can for the $10 price. The next thing I have for you is the Clarity Workbook. Really, it's called like the Life You Want Workbook, but the whole point is to help give you clarity. So if you're like not really sure about like whether Jamaica's right for you, like aligned with you, or whether you should, I don't know, like between, I don't know, maybe you have thoughts between Jamaica and some other place and you're kind of considering and you're not really sure. This workbook can help you. It's actually based on my process of what I do to figure out what I want out of life, which actually led me to Jamaica. So if that is something that you're interested in, it is only $5. For the $5 price, you're getting access to the digitally fillable version and the printable version. And then the last thing I have for you is the Grounded and Growing Journal. So this is a guided space to help you stay grounded, stay focused, and move forward with more intention in your day-to-day. This is actually based on my journal practice, the things that I do, you know, and even like things like, I don't know, to help me work through some frustrations and stuff I have here, stuff like that. And it helps me keep intentional and keep focused on my goals in my day-to-day. So if you're interested in that, you can get it for $7. So if you're interested in any of these things, the links will be in the comments and in the description. In the meantime, I very much appreciate you being here. If you like this video, do subscribe if you haven't already, so that you don't miss what's coming next. And I'll see you in the next one.